according to the government. So what you have, and the government is very reluctant to accept this, that we are funding the discos, they are cash-strapped. And so the government is trying to raise money for them. And that is why...
Tune in to Political Roundtable every Sunday at 6 p.m. only on Mainland 98.3 FM. Political Roundtable, where politics meets passion. Stay informed, stay engaged.
It's time for Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. This is the show where we look at the major issues in the political space, bring it to the table, and of course, dissect it and bring out very interesting conversations that, of course, begins to get you thinking about policies, politics, and governance in Nigeria. And today is not going to be different. My name is Saheed Fuhad. It's going to be a full house. We are expecting Pᴏʟɪᴛ to join us on the show this evening. Nurudeen Adigbenro is in the studio. Barrister Curtis Adigba is also in the studio with us. And together we're going to be looking at three issues in the political space that we've considered the most important, really. A lot has happened in the course of the week, but of course we can't touch on all issues. We just try to pick, the issues we consider very, very important. Interestingly, today we are looking at three political issues. It's all about politics today, from the PDP to the Labour Party, and then, of course, the race towards 2027. Our politicians are already thinking and talking about 2027, and so we're also going to be talking about that on the show today. Barrister Curtis Adigba, it's nice to have you in the studio this evening.
Thanks for having me. All
right, Nurudeen Adigbenro, nice to have you in the studio.
Good evening.
It was a very busy day for you yesterday, but I think it's worth it, really. He has a 5,000 naira initiative to support less privileged Nigerians, and I think
I'm one of them. Why didn't people inform me? So how many people came out?
We're supposed to do for like how many?
We are supposed to do like for 20, but we have over 400 people.
People that wanted the money.
I'm not part of it yet.
No, you
get. We are doing another one
when?
This coming Saturday.
This Saturday. So
we know you are going to give us.
Where is the venue?
No, it's just on radio. So we'll try to reach out to people, verify that need, and then of course I think all 20 have all been credited.
It's us within 1 hour.
They were all credited. So a very good. They call it urgent 5K initiative.
How
really.
You guys,
yes.
Distill to know who is who.
No, we just try to do a little, but again, we just try to check, ask one or two questions, and of course with some of the answers we get.
The prayers are too much.
The prayers are
so. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
The truth, yes.
How many people in this country today don't have urgent need for 5K?
Well, again, the numbers tell the story.
I'm here telling you that I need 5K urgently.
but again,
I need to thank you guys for doing that. No matter how small,
yes,
it goes a long way to meeting some very critical needs. And I just pray that God will replenish the source.
Amen.
And hopefully by Saturday next week we can be part of it.
Okay, definitely. Thank you so much, Barrister Curtis Adigba. And we're also we've promised a number of our listeners to support them with jam form. Very brilliant students. It's something we've always done anyways. And thanks to the MD of the station.
The top politician among us has just come.
He will also join this. Welcome to the studio, Pᴏʟɪᴛ. Nice to have you on the show this evening. Because again, all thanks to the MD of Mainland 98.3 FM, Honorable Okegberedo, who has always supported with some of these things, jam forms and all that. And he has promised that again this year. The last time I think we did over 100 jam forms,
for our program alone. 50.
So for that Saturday program, 50 jam forms.
I'll be part of
But let's get straight.
Are happening like this.
Just our own way of also reaching out to people, and I think the kind of prayers we got yesterday shows that indeed Nigerians are grateful for whatever little support they can get. From
things are tough.
Things are really, really tough. No matter how you try to paraphrase it, Nigerians are going through a whole lot at this time. But Pᴏʟɪᴛ, it's nice to have you in the studio. We have three very important issues, all politics, to discuss this evening. All politics, really. We're going to start with the Rivers State political crisis. You know, the Minister of Works has issued out a threat to of the FCT. Sorry, Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, has issued out a threat. We're going to listen to him. We have the soundbite, what he's saying, what he has said, who the threats are directed to, and what he has said as to the consequences for anybody that dares to cross his path. And we're going to try and understand, you know, what the minister is trying to say, what he's trying to achieve, the audacity itself, what could be going on in his mind, and if indeed he has the capacity to make do of the threat he has issued to PDP governors, particularly 13 of them, because he didn't separate, just say look for the PDP governors who are trying to do this. So it's deliberately mentioned Bauchi. So it's going to be our first issue on the roundtable this evening, and then we're going to go look at the Labour Party crisis. A lot is happening. It's just that, again, you know, maybe what the media has been talking about it, the Labour Party is in serious crisis, honestly, because you have a situation where the Labour Party leadership, led by Julius Abure, has issued warning to Mr. Peter Obi and the governor of Abia State, the only governor they have, Mr. Alex Otti, not to dare to convene in the National Executive Council meeting of the party. And he has said that, look, if they don't rescind that decision, it's going to take them to court, or probably even involve the IG of police, because they're actually going beyond their bounds. So again, one will look at the influence of Mr. Peter Obi and the governor, and assume that the leadership of the party would operate with some level of decorum, understanding the influence that these two individuals carry for the party. But that's the story of the Labour Party at this time. It's also going to be on the conversation this evening, and we are basically asking ourselves, is the party, that's the Labour Party now, working towards self-destruction? Are they already digging their own holes? You know, how well have they been able to manage the success they garnered in the last elections, and with what they are doing and the crisis that they've not been able to manage, will they be able to sustain whatever momentum they gathered towards 2027? And then the last issue is also a very big issue. The former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, has been making a lot of statements, and the statements are directed towards 2027. He said that he's still a member of the PDP, but he's saying that, look, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an emperor and will be difficult to dislodge in 2027. That's a statement from Sule Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa State. His direct statement: President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an emperor. He's been able to beat and fight all the odds to become president, and with his understanding of politics and his political sagacity, it will be very difficult in 2027 to dislodge him. He's also talked about President Muhammadu Buhari, how he was so undecided, how he had a choice, how he worked against the interests of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot really to talk about this evening, and I'm sure it's going to be an interesting ride. In between, we're going to sneak in something that is happening in Edo State. And the reason why we're going to just quickly sneak that in is to look at the temperament and the character of our politicians. There is a back and forth between Senator Adams Oshiomhole, the former governor of Edo State, and the wife of the governor, Mrs. Obaseki. Again, I wanted to avoid that conversation because of how sensitive the issues they were throwing up is. But I thought, look, if we keep hiding things like this, would not really touch on key issues of policies and the character of the people ruling us. So we're also going to listen to that back and forth between Senator Oshiomhole and the wife of the governor. Again, very sensitive issues, but again, it's just very important that we talk about some of these very important issues. Let's go straight to the issue because, again, there's really no time. It's a full house, and so we have to really touch deeply on all of these issues. Now, Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, has warned governors elected on the platform of the PDP against interfering in the affairs of the party in Rivers State. Wike and similarly Fubara, governor of Rivers State, have been involved in a political tussle for the control of the state since 2023. It's no longer news. The rift between the two politicians has created two factions in the Rivers House of Assembly, with each camp electing the speaker loyal to the minister and the governor. Wike spoke at the secretariat in Port Harcourt during the party's Congress on Saturday. He was responding to a recent expression of support by the PDP Governors Forum in a communique issued in Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State, for Fubara, where the governors of the PDP have said that, look, Governor Fubara, we stand with you. That's the communique from the Forum of PDP Governors as led by Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State. The PDP governors also called for a review of the party Congress outcome to restore Fubara's leadership in the state. But Wike warned the governors to steer clear of political affairs in Rivers State. Before I allow you to, speak to this issue, it would be nice to hear directly from the minister himself, from Nyesom Wike himself, and I think it would help us to really dissect this issue. Still Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's listen to Minister Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, basically telling the PDP governors to take caution. We'll be right back.
Yes, we have done our own part by electing a government in the state. If the government says it does not want us, will you kill yourself? No. Will you run away from the party you built? No. We are the party members, and we have taken over our party. The way we did it, how we did it in 2023, the same God will allow us, will support us, will be with us in 2027. Let nobody be intimidated. I know how it is when you have worked hard and at the end of the day you are pushed away. I know how bad you feel. But again, it's not every business you enter into that you get profit. So see this one as one of those businesses that you invested and you lost. So, but that will not make you not to continue to work hard in order to invest in future and make your profit. So be strong. Be strong. They said that we are finished. They are finished. Anywhere you see them say they are finished. And let me assure all of you, not while we live, not while we live, anybody will take away the structure of PDP from us. Not while we live. And let me tell people, I hear that there are some governors, who say they will take away the structure and give back to somebody. I pity those governors because I'll put fire in their state. When God has given you peace, when God has given you peace, you say you don't want peace. Then whatever you see, you take. I don't understand. Simply because I hear they got some money for this signature bonus. And so their heads are getting big. That you put hand in my own state. Prepare. Because I have the capacity. The capacity to also do the same thing in your own state. Whether you are from Bauchi, I don't give a damn. Whichever state you come from, as far as I know that you are trying to put yourself in River State, your hand will get burnt. And you will never sleep in your state. You will never do governance again. You will see political crisis as far as PDP is concerned. So I've told them, now you have started. When I will start, don't say I'm the one that destroyed PDP. You are the one that are trying to destroy PDP. Allow River State to conduct the affairs of the party. We are aware of these unstable characters. We know that they are joining APP. Let them wait during the time they should face us in election. Don't bother about abuses. We have thick skin. We don't even know what abuse is. So don't think about it. Don't say anybody's abusing me. If I'm nothing, they will not abuse me. They thought we would have come to them, start begging. Are we begging? No. We're not begging. Let them go and see what is happening in Abuja. So they know if we are talking about politics in Nigeria, we are more relevant than them. If today I say I will move to another party, it will be a tsunami. But we have said we will remain where we are. I assured you.
Right, that was the voice of the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. Very interesting words there, I have to say, from Wike, you know, clearly issuing threats to the PDP governors. He talked about, of course, addressing members of the PDP in Rivers State that, look, sometimes you invest in a business hoping to get profit, but discover that it's a failed business. I assume he's talking about the business of politics, whatever business. I'm sure my analysts will help me to understand what the minister was trying to say there. There's also the threat of putting fire in the different states if they dare to try to tamper with the political structure of Rivers State, which Wike claims to still control and own. And he's also talked about the governors who are not going to have any sleep. They are not even going to have to sit in their states if it starts with them. But Mr. Ǩụ̀ọ̀tị̀s, I've tried to look at the list of the PDP governors. They have 13 governors now. And here is Nyesom Wike threatening the entire 13 governors of the PDP who had issued a communique to say, look, Governor Fubara, we are with you. Look at this list. And, of course, let's say we put the 13 governors on one side and Nyesom Wike on one side. How is he able to issue this kind of threat, and why is the PDP still accommodating Nyesom Wike in their party? We have Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri from Adamawa State. He's been there since 2019. He got re-elected again. We have Umo Eno, he's a first-time governor, and that's from Akwa Ibom State, an oil-producing state. Bala Mohammed, of course, is the chairman of the PDP from Bauchi State. He's been there from since 2019, the second-term governor. We have, of course, Doyediri Bayelsa, who was elected in 2020. He also got his a second-term governor. We have Sheriff Uborevori of the Delta State. He's a first-time governor 2023. Governor Obaseki, outgoing governor of Edo State, who got elected in 2016. We have Peter Umba of Enugu State, first-time governor elected in 2023. Ademola Adeleke of Osun State, 2022, the dancing governor. We have Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. I don't think he's back in the country yet. His deputy is still in charge. He got elected in 2019. He's a second-time governor. We have Caleb Mufwang of Plateau State, 2023. We have Siminalayi Fubara, of course, Rivers State. Agbu Kefas, Taraba State, 2023. And Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, also elected in 2023. But Ǩụ̀ọ̀tị̀s Adigba. Yes, Bayelsa State, Dorodiri of Bayelsa State, who was elected in 2020. But Ǩụ̀ọ̀tị̀s Adigba, you've listened to Nyesom Wike. You know, everybody has been talking about the crisis in the PDP, whether there's going to be reconciliation or disciplinary actions against anti-party activities. Let's dissect these issues. What could be in the mind of Nyesom Wike, and does he have the capacity to do what he's saying?
Well, thank you. One of the biggest tragedies of our political ecosystem is Nyesom Wike.
One of the biggest political tragedies
of our system is throwing up people like Nyesom Wike. Inorganic rich men. When I mean inorganic, these are people who did not build wealth organically. And I'm glad that he called politics business. And that it's not in every business you make profit. It's not about public service. Wike sees himself as the owner of the state of Rivers State, and all the resources of the people belongs to him, notwithstanding that he is not the only governor the state has produced, and he will not be the only governor over time.
Or even the last governor.
The resources he grabbed from the state while he was governor, others are also in position now to grab.
The same resources.
Yes, and there were those who grabbed
Before him.
resources before him. Now, I think that when they said in my place that when a dog stands in the open and challenges an elephant to a battle, chances are that there are shadows behind the bush
Urging him on.
I mean, this kind of thing has never been heard of in our politics, where an individual who is so unmeasured, boastful, a showboat, somebody who wants to be the corpse in every funeral and the bride in every wedding, who offers nothing than just threats to the system that produced and made him what he is. But he will get away with it until his time in the sun disappears. And he's doing this because he feels that he has the backing of the highest power in the land behind him. Otherwise, how can a former governor snatch the political structure of a state from an incumbent governor? In Benue State, it was going to happen. The secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, called for the party congress in the state. The governor came on here and said, I'm the leader of the party, I'm not aware of this, and cancelled the congress. Fubara couldn't have done that yesterday. And you know why? Because the forces that matters in this country are backing Wike. But you see, he needs to be careful. Nobody has ever won against the people, no matter how long it takes. He probably feels that it's invincible. But nobody is invincible against the people. Nicolae Ceausescu, the Romanian strong man who ruled with iron fists, threw his political opponents to lions to eat, nobody could challenge him. But one day, as he was addressing the people, it was an old widow who summoned the courage and said, "You lie." That statement alone
brought his downfall.
Exploded. The people woke up. They captured that man and his wife, and they killed them. PDP is not a stranger to crisis. In the last 10, 15 years, there has been no crisis in the PDP that Wike is not a central figure. But he's still not been able to tear down the party. Maybe this time he may, because it's in the strategic interest of those who want to stay in power for Wike to do their dirty job. Don't forget that there was a time, not too long ago, I think it was 2019, before the 2019 elections, that we had two major factions in the PDP. Modu Sharif and Abubakar Makarafi, former governor of Kaduna State. But of course it was resolved. The court resolved it by recognizing the faction. And we know how it happened. Because Modu Sharif, who was a central figure in AMPP, suddenly found himself in the ruling party and became the chairman. Again, we know those people who engineered his emergence and what they wanted to achieve. Now, when Wike tells you, I can set fire
in your state.
in your state, he knows what he's saying. Like my brother Olalekon here said, he's simply going to use Damagun.
The acting chairman of the
to
party.
say,
now.
I do not, that the PDP as a party do not recognize the outcome
Of your
the party
different congresses in the states.
Yes.
So they will set up
That's
a
the strategy.
different congress to hold.
So factionalize the party at the
And
state
then-
level.
Yes,
Simple.
that's all. That's all he's talking about. But you see, I think he's overestimating his strength to cause disruption in other states. Now, if he says his money that is at the disposal is at
At
his
his disposal, yeah.
I also want him to know that that same money is available in Akwa Ibom, it's available in Delta, it's available in Oyo, and in so many other places.
States too.
Country.
So he has to be extremely careful.
Careful.
If he wants to leave the party, he can leave the party. He doesn't have to destroy the party. And I can assure you, he won't be able to destroy the party. What will happen is that the PDP, for whatever it is worth, will summon the courage soon and expel Wike out of that party.
That's the way out.
Because you see, this Wike is just laying the groundwork to deny Fubara second term ticket. And what will happen is, this is just one side of the crisis. We are going to, in the next few weeks, we are going to have another phase. Because the Fubara group will organize their own congress.
Congress
Yes.
too, yeah.
And I will tell you that INEC will send the representatives.
To the Fubara Congress.
Of course, we know. INEC is a two-edged sword. Everywhere it swings, it cut.
It's just everywhere.
So what will happen is you're going to have crisis.
Yes.
Yes.
And what Wike wants to achieve with that crisis is that Fubara will leave the PDP.
That's why I mentioned APP.
He talked about APP, he talked about a party.
Yeah, so
And
Fubara
there's
will,
been that rumor before now.
thank you. So Fubara will leave the party, thereby ceding control of the PDP to him.
Evans, yes.
And then when it comes to the election, he will use the instrumentality of the state,
The state, yes.
like he's always done the last 3 elections.
Yes.
Because now he's telling the whole world how he produced Fubara as
Yes.
governor.
Yes.
And that look, if you do a business and you don't get,
Yeah,
you just
the weakness of the system allows people like Wike to flourish. Because they get away with all form of impunities
Yes.
and nothing happens to them. But you know what? Every impunity has an expiry date.
Yes.
The Nigerian people are watching, and those who think that this is the right kind of politics, the personalization of state, the hijacking
of state.
of state apparatus for individual consumption, it will soon come to an end in this country. Not only in River State, but all over the country. But you know my greatest worry? My greatest worry is the fact that we have normalized this kind of ugly,
Behavior.
toxic
Yes.
behavior. You saw how grown-up people were clapping for him?
Singing, cheering me on.
2 days ago, I don't know if you saw what I wrote on Facebook. That, look, my worry, when I hear some religious figure telegraph certain sentiments from the pulpit,
And people just follow it.
and you have important Nigerians
Sitting down listening.
listening. I saw one where even a former president was in attendance. And this guy was ranting and ranting and ranting and abusing people,
On the pulpit.
and the people were clapping hands. And I said, what happened? Now we have normalized certain behaviors in our country. And what we don't know is that whatever we do, the children are watching
Of course, yes.
and they are listening.
Yes.
It is not what you say to the children, don't do.
No, it's what you do.
It's what you do. They are watching. And so we owe the next generation. Why do you think that so many young people are not interested in politics today? I was talking to some guys 2 days ago. He was complaining bitterly about the state. I said, did you vote? He said, I don't even have a voter's card. I said, you're part of the problem. He said, how? I said, when you don't vote, they will vote for you.
The vote will still be cast.
Yes, they vote for you. And if you register and you don't vote, they'll use your name to vote. Because they always have a way of beating the system. But I want to let them know, everyone who is troubling Nigeria, their trouble is on the way.
All right, everyone troubling Nigeria, their trouble is on the way. I don't know whether to say amen to that or just take it as a statement or a prophecy from Barrister Curtis Adigba. I'm going to come to you, Nuruddin, but let's discuss politics here. Olalekon, I'll put fire in your state. I want us to expatiate more on that. You've talked about basically Demagogue, the acting chairman, of course, factionalizing the party structure in the state.
Yes.
But again, we're talking about governors who are in control now, to a former governor who probably has the federal might,
Yes.
and the structure, and somehow has the control of the party because of the acting chairman. But when it comes to party structure in the state, do you think Nyesom Wike can go into these 13 states, looking at what the resources available to the governors, and actually cause crisis in their state? How easy do you think he will be able to do that if really it comes to the point where he actually needs to do that?
Well, what I see here is that, first of all, let me say, I don't know if I'm permitted to say this or not. Wike is actually a terror. As far
political
as,
terror, as
yes,
you,
a political terror as far as politics in Nigeria is concerned. Another angle is that, you see, Wike somehow, I think Barrister Curtis has mentioned something like, or, you know, psychologically, Wike is actually a weak person. So one of his weaknesses is a weakness. Is a weak person. One of the things he uses is words. What he saw in Taraba was he was scared of
that solidarity of the PDP governors.
The support he saw from PDP
governors for Fubara.
For Fubara, so
scared him.
That thing actually scared him.
Okay.
And the way weak people fight is they use words.
They threaten you.
100%.
They tell you that
almost like the empty barrel makes the loudest noise.
So
okay.
What Wike was trying to do was that, guys, don't come now. Leave me and these guys.
Are you interfering?
And if you look at that statement, Wike also agreed that he has lost this battle against Fubara.
He said it's a temporary loss.
Yeah, but it's a loss, and he's waiting for 2027. So, in fact, when I watched that video, I wanted to clap for Fubara and say that
how far he's been able to take the battle to him. Yeah,
congratulations, because from Wike had accepted that. As far as
for now,
we have lost, and that's why I was telling them that this business that we have done in 2020
is a bad business for now.
We have lost. Let's go back home, and that doesn't mean that you won't do another business again. And as a businessman, truly, just like he has said, he's a businessman, not a politician, so to speak. That you have lost this one, but we invest again in 2027. Hopefully, we win. And so Wike is actually a weak person.
Our market is Abuja.
Yes.
To what we are doing there.
Yes,
just come and see what
so
the business is flourishing there.
I agree that he has lost, and I will advise that Fubara doesn't leave PDP.
He should stay.
He should stay. I believe that
what
now
if
that
he's
Wike,
denied the ticket?
You said?
What if he's denied the ticket?
I don't think Wike has that power to even deny him. Damagu might go anytime from now. From what is happening, those governors will see that Wike's power is through Damagu, to use the national organ of the party to fight them. And 13 governors, no matter how you see it, they are greater than one former governor. They have more powers in the party, and I'm sure that Atiku will not even support Wike. And every other person, maybe think Bukola Saraki would not support Wike.
What of Seyi Makinde? He was part of the G5.
Yes, now, but as it is now, Wike has actually passed his boundary. How can you threaten 13 governors? How?
Politics is about interest.
So at the end of the day, also Seyi Makinde also wants to take over where Wike is in the party. Yeah. Obviously. So
and he wants to put somebody after him.
And we've seen rumors about Seyi Makinde contesting as president.
As president too. So
so Seyi Makinde also wants to take over the party. So as it is now, all of these people, Seyi Makinde will turn his back at Wike as it is. I'm sure this statement Wike made will backfire.
All right. Okay.
Definitely. One way or the other, they will see how Damagu will leave as the acting chairman
of the party. Well, Nuruddin, my psychologist said that, look, PDP is not new to crisis. It's been a party that has gone through different stages of crisis. Where they are as a party now is also a reflection of the number of crises they've had to, take on as a political party. But a party with that number of crises has still been able to produce 13 governors. That's quite remarkable.
Yes.
Now, Olalekon is saying that, look, there's going to be a backlash. There's going to be consequences for what Wike has said, and we may be thinking he's talking from the point of strength, but he actually could come from the point of weaknesses. And so this is just to issue this threat, and he had felt threatened by what had happened in Taraba State, that Jalingo convention of the party, where the communique has said that, look, all these governors are solidly with Governor Fubara. Do you also see this as an empty threat, that it's just the normal threat? There's nothing Wike can do really to destabilize the party more than what he's been able to do so far?
I want to take it from what Mr. Oni said. Look, if you look at that communique,
the
one that I said I heard is a lie. He read the communique.
There was a communique issued by the governor.
In fact, the communique is so wordy to the extent that they are not even. It's not that maybe one of them was opposing it.
It was a complete decision.
What it means is this: in the next 2 weeks, there was going to be an alarm, or else.
Here on the issue of National Working Committee, especially the Demagon-led, and what he's saying is that, look, people cannot just replace him without a Congress.
One thing there is this. No, you know what?
The convention, yes.
You know what?
That's what he's saying.
You know one thing there is
yes.
that it's not about removing. When we say it's gone, because Owago himself may be wanting to be a substantive national chairman within his mind.
Yes.
But with what is on ground now, and when you have 13 governors in your party,
yes, sir. Against you,
they are major structures. Don't let us deceive ourselves. Now, from psychological point of view, that I said, if you see anybody that you have an argument with somebody, the first thing that person is going to do is threats. That person is a weak person. Then, if you look at the antecedent of Wike, do you recall that Fᴜʟʟ is not a talking person?
No, he doesn't really talk, yes. Until recently.
He has achieved 3 things. 1, you see all those House of Assembly, is he already telling them, he is a minister, I'm talking about Wike,
yeah.
and you are collecting from the national largesse. But you say, you've lost. You know, ordinarily with all these ulabalu, those state assembly members could still be anti-governor if they didn't go beyond their boundary.
You know, the defection and what had happened, yes.
So assuming they are not they don't have any case, they will still be going on. Then another thing again is this: when Wike now saying he's going to throw fire
in other states, into other states,
you know, there are some certain states. Forget it. I listened to that words many times, and I discovered that there was a time during 1999 to 2003. There are some politicians that you can recall. Did you remember how Peter Odili was so powerful in PDP?
And even as the governor of Rivers State.
Even as the governor of Rivers State. Did you remember how Pᴏʟɪᴛ the Ebano himself?
Ebano.
How he's so powerful that anything you want to get from the Igbo-speaking state, forget it, you must go to him. Did you know how he beat us?
In Edo State, yeah.
In Edo State. You remember this man from Bayelsa State, the man that died before Jonathan?
Alamesia.
Dipre Alamesia. Their history. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be history. And it's not as powerful
as some of these governors did.
And whatever he wants to be politically.
Even a James Ibori in Delta State at that time.
Whatever he wants to be politically is now a minister of FCT. Bala Mohammed is one minister of FCT.
FCT?
He's the same minister of FCT now, a 2-time governor.
So one thing there is this, and one thing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, irrespective of the political parties involved in any state, he must be a proponent of peace. In the sense that if he has not done it, he needs to caution Wike. Not because of what is happening in PDP, no. It's part of his cabinet. The issue of Rᴏᴜ for politicians, no problem. But the issue of peace.
And then throwing fire into different states.
Because one thing there is this. There are some certain politicians that believes, and this is a statement that there are some certain politicians that believe, even within APC, that believe that peradventure the president is the one sending, and to be fair to the president, because he will tell you, I'm a member of APC, I'm not a member of PDP.
He's just my minister.
You understand now? But one thing that is so certain is this, that Wike will not forget, that is still need to remember is this: if the whole society cook for you, you will eat, defecate, and those food will still going to be available. But if you cook for the society, they will eat it, it will finish, and they will ask for more. You need to study it softly. But one thing that is here is this. I know in the next few weeks,
something will happen in the PDP.
a lot of things is going to happen.
All right. Well, Mr. Sadiba, because again, we have a lot to discuss this evening. I'm looking at the president because Nordin has raised that issue that, look, there's nothing that is going on in the mind of Wike other than the fact that, look, I'm a member of I'm a serving cabinet member of the ruling party. I work with the presidency. He talked about Abuja in that statement. That, look, come and see what we're doing in Abuja. And he also talked about political relevance, that, look, some of these guys are not relevant. I'm more relevant than them in the sphere of politics in Nigeria. And Nurudeen has said that the president also has to watch it with a yes on Wike. No matter what he thinks about Wike being an asset to him in terms of destabilizing the PDP ahead of 2027, he's also somebody that would want some kind of peace to be available for him to govern properly as the president of the country. Do you think that it might get to the point where the president would have to rein Wike in? Yes, I'm not a member of the PDP, but you can't continue to, cause trouble everywhere for me. Rivers State has not known peace since this squabble between himself and Fubara started. So if he decides to start to go into other states and cause trouble, how much of a problem can that be for the president?
Americans describe the presidential platform as a bully pulpit. Bully pulpit in the sense that when he takes on an issue, he has to deal with it definitively because he's the highest authority in the land. And the presidency automatically does not make you a statesman or a patriot. It's just a platform that you can grow into and rise above primordial politics. And to do that, it takes courage. Do you understand? Now, when you look at political consideration alone and use that to shape or shaping your action that could have very bad consequences for the country, you might be aiming for the highest height in history, but you find yourself in the footnotes. And this year will continue to exist, even if it gets 8 years.
Or more, sir.
Or even more. But then, he needs to understand that there is a calling. And that calling is a national calling. To say, Mr. President, you are the one in charge of this country now. Nobody under you or occupying any position in your government should have the liberty to openly declare that it can cause trouble
in other states.
Just because.
Not even in one state.
He is your minister, and he has supposedly he has the backing of the entire country, because of those who are in power are his friend. But what he doesn't understand is this. We have always said that power is transient, but in a more prescient sense, that look, even if he thinks that today he has the whole force of the power behind him, the truth is that he does not control power. Even the president, in the true sense, does not control power. It's power that controls him. And so when you understand this basic knowledge about power, the power is just an opportunity for you to do the greatest good. What you cannot do with your personal resources. That's what power affords you. But if you think that power is just for your personal aggrandizement, for you to threaten others, look, definitely in politics there must be disagreement.
Definitely.
But the question is, what are the disagreements about?
What are you fighting over? What is the
What are you
problem?
fighting over? You understand? You facilitated this man in an undemocratic manner to emerge to the exclusion of every other person who was qualified. But you had a goal, and that goal was to use him. Now, if that is not possible, a wise man would take a step back and say, okay, well, tomorrow is coming, it's politics. Unlike he said it's business, it's politics. Let's go back.
Maybe political business.
Yes, let's go back. So I think at this point, it is important that the president begins to have certain conversation with Wike. Like Mr. Olaleko said, that what Wike is doing actually shows that he's a coward. Men who boast so much, You remember Mike Tyson in those days? When he's going, during his boxing era, the opponents will come and
he will not even talk.
He will not talk. But once he gets into action, he takes them down.
I remember Peter McNally, one of the opponents. He didn't last one round. And
people who really have power don't boast about power.
Yes.
You know, rich people don't act being rich. It's the poor that act being rich. And that's why we call it acting.
Yeah.
If you are powerful, look at Mr. President himself, the one who controls the armed forces, the police. How many people has he threatened?
He doesn't even talk.
He doesn't even
It's
talk.
his own style. It's his style.
You understand what I'm
keeps
saying?
quiet and gets things done the way he wants it.
Talk.
All right, so we can quickly move to the next issue, and it will just branch small in Edo State because the elections are upon us. I think the election is September 21. We're having the elections, and our politicians have started to show themselves. There's been a lot of toxic kind of discussion in Edo State, but I think we just quickly look at what is happening in Edo State briefly before we now come back to talking about the Labour Party crisis, and then of course we end with the statement by the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. The wife of the governor, Madam Betsy Bene Obaseki, that's her name, was on the podium campaigning for the PDP in Edo State. The wife of the candidate of the PDP, Mrs. Aswe Godalo, was also on the podium. And I think she got excited and made some statements and got an immediate reaction from Senator Adams Oshiomhole as to the statement she said she had issued as to the fact that we're going to listen to how she put it so that we are not accused of quoting out of context, and also listen to what Senator Adams Oshiomhole said. But again, I just want us to talk about the character. Or is this about campaign? On campaign grounds, are these things permissible? Is it permitted to just make statements like this? Because I know that, yes, there's always banter. My grandfather would tell me that, look, political banter has always been the political culture all over the world. In Nigeria, too, you had Awolowo issuing statements, and Modubele will reply, Azikiwe. Even in the US, you have all but are there some level of decorum that we are expected to get from our politicians? Or when it comes to political statements, since you have issued it on the podium, anything goes? Is that how it is done? Because again, as a journalist, I'm wondering why our politicians have to get this low with their statements on the campaign ground. The first voice will be the voice of the wife of the governor of Edo State, Mrs. Obaseki, and then we'll get to listen to the reply from Senator Adams Oshiomhole. It's a political roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll be right back.
The best candidate to emerge so that our country, state by state, go better and go to move forward. So today, we all the talk, make we all go outside, preach the gospel. Let us campaign for and vote for the best candidate in this coming election. And I want to introduce the wife. Incidentally, as God go do am, as He always do am to support Him people. All the candidates when they contest election, only one get wife. And our own party candidate, Aswe Godalo, only him get wife. Now his wife be this. Mrs. Ifeanyi Godalo. Was a talent. I've been Isha name. Fine girl like me.
I was shocked yesterday to see Mrs. Obaseki, the first lady, saying that our candidate has no wife. She is the most. I'm sorry that she had to say that, because here is a woman who has no child. Between him and Obaseki, they have no child. They are childless. They are even not ready to adopt. I mean, I don't blame anybody if you don't have a child. But people who have love for children, they go to motherless home and adopt children. They have not adopted. They are both in their 60s. So you married with, I don't know whether it's a contract or whatever it is, but they have no child. Now, our candidate not only have children, he has invested in the education of those children such that you watch them on live television, covered by your media stations, where The first one that spoke is a lawyer. The second one is a medical doctor. And they addressed the crowd in Edo South, in Edo Central, in Edo North. And their mother was there.
All right. Well, again, quite unfortunate, really. Like I said, I struggled really to want to bring that on the show, but it's just very important for us to talk about some of these things again, to understand the nature and the character of our politicians. The wife of the governor said that, look, his candidate is the only one, their own candidate, the governorship candidate of the PDP is the only one that has a wife. I'm out of all the other candidates. And I know that there are 17 candidates, governorship candidates in Edo State. So how she did that survey, I said that, well, our own candidate has a wife, but I don't know of the APC candidate. But there are 17 other contestants here. I don't know whether there's a woman there, but I know that at least there are about 16 men running for that position in that state. And then the salvo came back from Senator Adams Oshiomhole, talking about what a lot of women have also complained about, this idea of, the African culture about talking about barrenness is something people don't joke with. But I've also seen people argue that, look, the woman started the squabble. But Mr. Curtis Adigba, you've listened to the two statements. I can see you taking a deep sigh. And what does this say about?
I used to think that it's only in Africa that politicians are crazy and weird.
And weird, yes.
Again, we have the same kind of scandal going on in the U.S.
In the U.S., yes.
Where the Republican
running mate,
J.D. Vance, talked about women and cats.
Yes.
That women who don't have kids, who only have cats as their kids, have no future in America. And that's taking a direct swipe at Kamala Harris.
Harris, yeah.
Cost is 59. Never had a child of her own.
Yeah.
So J.D. Vance felt that without a child of her own, she cannot be a patriot, or she cannot place America above every other thing. Notwithstanding that she has accepted her husband's children as her own, and they get along very well. So this is a very touchy issue for me, and very, very sobering. I think that Adams Oshiomhole, first and foremost, who is older than Betty Obaseki, who is a man, a two-time governor, a party leader,
should have shown more restraint, really.
A labor leader. Even if Betty had acted unwisely, I expected more discretion.
Should have ignored.
He should have just have ignored her, or at best said, "Oh, our candidate has a wife. She lied to you." But the good news: the Nigerian Constitution did not specify that if you don't have a wife, you cannot contest election.
If you don't have a child.
And also that if you don't have a child, you cannot occupy public office. So I want to take it that these are two children trapped in adult bodies. Two children. But worse, reflects more poorly on Adams Oshiomhole. Because even the attacks, what Betty said, what Baseki's wife said, yes, maybe have been hurtful. But we know it's not true. Like you just sat here and told us, there are about 16 men. So, where did she do her research?
To know
so Adam should just have ignored
the statement,
but
yes.
Go as far as saying both, her and her husband
don't have a child, and they have refused to adopt.
They don't have a child, and they have even refused to look. To adopt a child is a decision anybody should make. If they don't want to make it, if maybe they are having faith in God, that like Sarah and Abraham, even at their old age, God give them their own child. You understand? And they don't have to adopt a child before they are useful. And this is why we say that each time we are approaching election, there's a need for a communication that is issue-based.
Issue-based, yes.
Now, how does this translate to good schools, good hospitals,
better living for the people of Edo State?
All of that.
Meanwhile, if Edo people are looking for somebody who has so many children to be governor, I know someone in Benue that I can show them. If that's the qualification. In fact, he can go with 30.
Or many wives.
Or many wives. So I think we should get serious. And I hope that others who listen to this nonsense, attractive nonsense basically, will learn from it. We shouldn't go to
descend to this level.
Is too low. In fact, when you see that, when you feel that you have seen the lowest low,
they just come again with something.
This has beaten that record.
This has actually beaten that record.
And very sad. And I hope that 𝐴ᴛ will reflect on this and apologize.
And apologize.
Yes.
Well, there are people who have said that there might be consequences really for the APC because women might take this personally. But there are also politicians who say that, look, elections in Nigeria, people don't even care what to say on the campaign ground. You can make promises that you don't fulfill. A lot of times on the campaign ground, nothing important is said. Nobody holds anybody accountable. So do you think that, look, this is not going to have any meaning really to the electorate in Edo State?
Well, those who might read meaning to it are people maybe on the radio who are outside Edo
People
State.
like us are just talking about
people on the Twitter who wants to do hashtag or whatever.
Or analyze.
You see, our problems are deep. You know, very deep. And sometimes when I sit down, I think about our political processes and all of this. Sometimes I want to give up on public offices and all of these things because during campaign,
yes.
See where that woman said that thing, you could hear the background noise.
Yes.
Where Adams Oshiomhole said this, people will still hail him, and so on and so forth. During campaign, people don't ask questions, and at the end of the day, at least either we like it or not, either the PDP
or the APC or the Labour Party,
we get into the office, we become the governor.
Yes, eventually.
And then they will do 4 years, and then roll out. I don't want to say nonsense about the achievements and all of that. So if you look at, and this is where, this is why we are where we are currently in Nigeria. Because when people don't tell you substance, when people don't give you substance,
issue-based campaign,
sometimes they even deny that they made promises to us.
Yes, because at the end of the day, nobody was even listening to the promise. I know I have been part of campaign
rallies and
and all of these things. People don't even want to listen to issue-based, and that's the truth.
Now, can I tell you how personal values can translate into public outing? You know, in 2008, during the campaign between Obama and John McCain, John McCain went to campaign somewhere, and a woman got up and said, first and foremost, Obama was not an American, and he's a Muslim, a member of Al-Qaeda.
Because of his name,
and
you know.
John said, no, I know him. It does not matter that we are opponents in this election. Barack Obama is a decent man.
He was born here in the U.S.
They pulled him, but that's how you show statesmanship.
Yes.
So,
and character.
Adams Oshiomhole should have told his people, look, ignore her. Ignore this woman.
Yes, that's what I said.
Just ignore her.
Or have the wife of the man to come and speak.
Or even where...
Maybe not even go...
The wife of the governor was saying this. The governor, either the governor was there or the candidate was there.
Yeah.
They could correct her.
Yeah, but
just like you said.
But you know, they wouldn't want to do that openly.
Yes.
To her.
But from what you said, it was done openly, right?
Yes.
There and there.
By the candidate.
Yes.
By the candidate, yes. So if the candidate himself, because you see, the problem is that Asue is riding on the back of Obaseki.
Yes.
Asue will not want to confront her based on this kind of
statement. Yes.
Because you see, I think last week, he was on one of the television stations. I don't know if you watched that interview, where he talked about what he wants to do, the current state of things in Edo State.
Yeah, that's Aswe.
And the interviewer asked him and said, but you are sponsored by the governor whose record you are destroying on this program.
With what you're already saying, yes.
With what you're saying. And he said, well, you know, actually, the governor knows that I'm not attacking him. I'm simply saying that what he has done can be improved upon. The guy said, no, that's not what you are saying. You are saying you turn around the door and the poverty that you have seen.
Whereas you have your principal who has done 8 years.
They have collected that.
The election is supposed to be a referendum on the performance of Obaseki at least.
You know they have collected that and put in the bag. They say, this man may not be. We cannot trust this man.
Yes.
So for him to come out again
and now say no,
it's even better for him to confront Obaseki than to confront Obaseki's wife.
Yes.
You know that. So that's why he refrained from doing that. But what we are saying is that, look, our children are watching.
Yes.
They are saying. Oshiomhole should have just completely
ignored. Yeah.
That's not but for me, Nigerian politicians, irrespective of the state, I'm not sorry to say it, we don't campaign. I'm telling you. I want to. They don't. What they do is that what they do is that they go on tours. That is what they do.
Or a dance rally, just dancing. You know.
That is the thing, because in a campaign, you want to tell people what you want to do, and they will ask you questions. It doesn't happen.
Even people see. While I agree with you.
No, they will prepare a stage where people will not have choice to even ask questions. That is what they do. Is it not the same politicians that are running when television will call them, radio station will call them to come and tell people what they want to do? They're not politicians. But for me, on the issue of Oshiomhole, I think one thing. Yoruba would to say, Tomo kekere o ba ti egbon. Ati agbalagba to ti e se kini na ati ni lakai.
At least we show some restraints.
Because anybody in Nigeria that is a first lady, either of local government, either of a state,
or whatever level, or even the head of the.
I'm not even saying the family. They are occupying a seat that does not have anything in our law. And it's a statement of fact. Any first lady of a state, of a local government,
so she should have been ignored, really.
Ordinarily, in the political calculations, she's nobody. Any first lady.
But she's the wife of the governor.
She's just like you have wife now.
First ladies have soft power.
You understand now?
No constitutional power.
They don't have constitutional power. In fact, no, their position does not exist in the law. In fact, any governor, any president that is putting money into that particular office is doing it.
It's well established, but look at what Sağᴇᴜ have said. Yes, they might not have constitutional power.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
But they don't have constitutional
power. Yeah.
They don't have constitutional power
and soft power.
I believe one thing that
I'm sure you remember Mama Peace.
No, what we all know now. All the first ladies, they are just occupying that position.
But don't ignore them. That soft power can make or mar anything.
Look, let me tell you, for those people, politicians are looking for powers through the women. If I'm not a politician, I'm not looking anything from him. So to me, it does not. But one thing there is that what Oshiomhole will have done, at least to score a good political point.
But I'm going to ignore it.
No, even if he's not going to ignore it, but that's the way they will just
Madam Okpebolo.
Oh, yeah?
Come and talk.
Your husband does not have wife.
Now. Bring your children. Just come and answer.
Ordinarily, that one would have said anything.
All right,
a House of Rep member brought his 3 wives.
And he said, and I'm going to get more. And even with his children.
Was it 28 children?
Yes,
and he said he's still producing more.
If you see the children of Dogua, or you want to see what's the name of this man? Tuobankido.
With our problem.
They should tell us what they want to do. The statement is part of it.
Yes. And what a lot of the politicians are about to speak with on the chances of the APC is that, look.
Politicians from Edo?
From Edo State.
They are on one side, Mr. Fuad.
I'm coming. No, what they have even said is that, look, if you look at the structure of politics in Edo State now, yes, Obaseki is the governor, but it's an outgoing governor. Whether anybody likes it or not, it's a lame duck. Because
in the real sense of politics,
yes,
you shouldn't have so much influence. But not in Nigeria.
Yes. But what they are now saying is that, look, it's going to be going head to head with 2 senators. You have 3 senatorial zones. The APC has 2 senators. Adams Oshiomhole, who will do everything possible to want to deliver a senatorial district. Yes. You have Monday Ekpebolo, a sitting senator and a candidate.
Yeah, but what Obaseki lacks
in
the senatorial district,
where does he have it?
He has it in the local government.
So people are saying that, look, it's a very balanced race.
If it is by senatorial district,
yes.
Look, let me use Kano as an example.
Because the thing is calculation. All this is a permutations. And they exist.
But let me tell you,
people of Edo will decide.
There's a bigger problem that Obaseki has.
Okay.
And that is in the person of Nyesom Wike.
Okay.
Who sees the coming election in Edo State as a tough match between him and Obaseki.
Because again, they are also
you remember
they are loggerheads.
Yes, they called him an ingrate.
And he has vowed that he would deal with Obaseki.
Yes, they called him an ingrate.
So he's going to also,
and with him promising to throw fire.
In the states. He may want to also make a statement with Edo State.
When he had issues then,
yes,
we helped him now.
Brought him into the PDP and gave him the platform. Yes, of course, yes.
You are right.
All of that.
Obaseki went to visit him. And Wike facilitated
how he got the PDP. Yes,
some
platform.
of the candidates that were saying we will never step down for Obaseki.
Yes.
We decided Wike appealed to them.
Remember
and
that
they
nice meeting
but you know, even Satan has a good part. And he knows his own.
All right. So let's leave Edo State. We'll definitely talk about Edo State. I think next week we'll try and dig more into political developments in Edo State, since the election is just about 2-3 weeks away. But the Labour Party, the party that came in 2023 with all of the, euphoria, brilliant showing. It was the new bride, everybody. A lot of the young voters wanted to associate with the party.
Don't give them coat of many colors. There was no party. Let me tell you. We know we said it here before. It's even Nigeria dodged the bullet.
All right.
In the sense that we did not entrust power to the Labour Party. These are
that party
and jesters. You know, I'm even surprised by the behavior of the party chairman.
Julius Abure.
This is still a man that nobody even believes is the chairman of the party. And then he is also going against the most important people in
his party.
Instead of working with them to rebuild
the party and consolidate
the social club that we thought was a political party. Because every day shows that this was never a party. And like we said here, Labour Party did not win votes because they campaigned for the votes. But that Nigerians believed in them.
Yes.
People were just disenchanted.
Yes.
And they wanted anything new.
Yes.
They just wanted something new.
Yes.
And that's what they are taking for granted. Now, don't forget that even their representatives in the National Assembly are already porting to other parties.
Other parties, they are losing members.
Who have remained in the party.
I've been silent.
They're almost like one leg in, one leg out.
Yes.
No, they're not even taking position that is different from those of the ruling party and
Yes.
the major opposition party.
Yes.
So I think, look, Labour Party may not survive as a strong party to the next election. Do you understand?
I'm with you.
Because look at APGA, for instance. There is no question about it. Soludo is the leader of the party.
Yes.
He's got the
Automatically.
resources to fund the party.
Although there's crisis in Abga too. The chairmanship of the party in the state
Exactly.
is a big
But I
problem.
can tell
In
you.
Abga?
Yes, Abga.
Yes.
They have their own problem.
Of course.
Two chairmen have emerged.
Let me tell you.
Even Abga. Yes, recently, even in Abga.
Let me tell you, even if it's a social club,
Yes.
Nigerians
That's
will
what I want
fight
to
to
say.
lead it.
That's what I want to say.
I'm talking about
Yes, I'm with you.
family club, they will fight. So that's not strange to politics. But what we are saying, if a man, if men like Alex Oti,
Yes.
a sitting governor, the only governor on
that
the
the
platform
party
of the party,
has,
and the presidential candidate of the party that put out a massive performance are not members of the party who can command the loyalty of the leadership of the party.
Then there's this big problem.
There's a big problem.
Serious one.
So
It's not even something that
Serious one.
no, what part do you see the Labour Party working
Let
towards?
me
Because
tell you,
people have said that look, this is an implosion, self-destruction.
All of us we know before. The only thing that hype Labour Party
That brought them
is
out,
Peter-
really.
is Peter Obi.
That's all.
And if what Abure did not know that is not different from other parties that did not even want councillor.
Like both party.
That he does not even know.
Ordinate Labour Party.
He does not even. Labour Party is even good because they've had former governor in their phone.
That's Mimiko. Yeah. He don't borrow the platform now. No be borrow.
After I left.
But you know that there are some certain party that former councillor is not even a member of their party before.
Wow.
So
Boots-
automatically,
Boots party.
Boots has just one office.
But one thing
all over
that-
Nigeria. Just one. And the office never open. He's there, just at the back of our office.
No, you go there when they are closed.
Well, one thing there is this. Look. No.
Yeah.
Papa don't go rest.
No, he has finished his job.
One job. Papa.
He came to do something.
Okay.
I was telling you. Let's do something.
And how well did he do the
Yeah,
job?
very well.
Very well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no.
At that time,
Yes.
he was destabilizing the
Why-
party.
And they wanted
And
that.
sabotaging their
What
case
are you
in court.
In court.
Yes, now that's
What
what
I
No.
for a
Listen to Olalekan.
Destabilization
The
at
man
that
came,
time.
did the job. He's completed the job.
Was there no destabilization?
When my Maguire was still in Man U. Because I don't believe he's still in Man U.
No, I think it's in Aston Villa now.
But on a very serious
on a
note,
serious-
this Labour Party,
No. You know
what future? What does the future hold for them?
Calculations are going on.
To achieve what?
The thinking of some certain member of that party is
Yes.
that OT,
Yes, the governor, the only governor,
yes, is in line
With Peter
with
Obi.
Peter Obi, which is not bad.
1, 2, that in future there is calculation that could be imagined.
Okay.
That there are some certain parts with both of them dictating for that particular party is easy to merge with anybody they want to merge.
So that they might take the structure of the party and
So,
merge it somewhere
yes,
else. Yeah.
then
That
another
party
thing-
does not have a structure.
No,
Do they even have a
but if you say it does not have a structure,
They don't.
Yes.
whatever any name you want to give structure, Peter Obi isn't going to be inside that equation.
So if the party is in disagreement now with Peter Obi and Governor Oti,
from your analysis, the party does not have a state. The party has Alex Oti
as a governor.
That's what we are saying, that if those particular
those
people,
two,
so
those
that
are the
is one thing.
structure.
The thing is that there are some certain people that, okay, even if you people move, there are some of us that want to remain and still be here.
Remain with what?
Women with nothing. I have to run.
Remain with nothing.
I have to run. Bull party. Bull party. I didn't know police party. If you want to leave police party, you leave them.
All right.
But
The structure they have is Alex and Peter Obi.
But one thing that is there is this. Look, it is important.
Yes.
For Peter Obi, I think, because I'm always very, very looking at as the presidential representative of the party. Under the constitution of Labour Party, he cannot call.
No. Of course, I've read. No,
he can't.
No. But what we are saying is that look, yes. In fact,
we need to be very.
In fact, from the
party,
yeah, they brought the constitution of the party out, and it's clear that the governor and Peter Obi cannot actually call for that Congress. But what we are saying is that if that is the interest and that's the thinking of Mr. Peter Obi and Alex Oti, the governor, who we have said actually carries the structure of the what you can call the meaningful structure of the party. Yes. Shouldn't Julius Abure look at the bigger picture and survival of the party and work with them?
Don't you see that Abure is looking one thing before?
What is he looking for?
He thought Peter Obi. You know, Peter Obi has done one thing during all their crises with Apampa or whatever.
He stayed with Abure.
You understand?
Yes.
So that he was with him.
With Abure.
Now, with his statements,
yes,
with the discussion of Alex Oti, is discovered is like this person is having decent opinion.
No. But my worry is that what does Abure want to achieve? If these two men are forced out of the party,
you see,
what is left of the party?
You see, the thing is this. What I see about Abure is this. If you mention Labour Party today, what comes to your mind? Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Abure sees Peter Obi has taken his sign
now
as the national chairman. Now, as the national chairman of the party. And that's why he said that if Peter Obi or Alex Oti should organize any convention or congress, it might even involve the IGP. He feels that he is the national chairman of the party. He should call the shot when it
which is what the constitution of the party says.
Yes, he should call the shot. And you see, the way it has worked is that the sign on the national party or whatever, just like Barrister Koti said, that I never heard about Abure until Peter Obi came to the scene. You know, and all of us and everybody. And in fact, Labour Party was existing even before Peter Obi came. And I can tell you that there are millions of Nigerians who never
knew there was really a party like that.
Who never reckoned with Labour Party before Peter Obi came to the scene and all of that. So
I think
as it is. Yes, then
with Mimiko
as a governor,
So as it is now, you know, Abure says that okay, election has come and gone. Let the shine come back to the party.
What would he be doing with the shine? Just as the chairman of the party.
You don't know that if you are a national,
chairman of the party.
So the way it works is now is that
you can use the shine to polish you.
Yes, now another angle is this. You know, there are off-season elections.
So
I'm sure that people who want to vie.
Let me ask you, politically speaking, now, what does a party chairman really get? Or the National Working Committee member? What's the thing he needs for them?
It's not something I can say.
It's not to work for the party.
For what?
Work for the party.
Like the former Senate President said.
Yes.
To Senator Bukachua. Do you really want to go into this issue?
I want to go into it.
Don't go into it.
Barrister Curtis, if a governor is reluctant to leave power, if a president is reluctant to leave power, I might say, oh, well, the resources of the state, but the chairman of a party.
It's not something you can discuss on there.
What they get.
Let me let a small cat out of the bag.
Yes.
In 2003, I went to seek nomination for the House of Reps.
In Benue State?
Benue State for my constituency. It was under a party called UNPP. That was the party that produced the late Dabo's daughter in the House of Rep.
Right.
And Dana Dabo. You know that in the night when we were going to do our screening, screening was supposed to start in the morning, but it didn't start until about 7 p.m.
At night?
At night.
And
let me tell you, you had to first of all bribe before you can get in on time. Because it was such a large group of people waiting to be screened. And then before you go in, there are people waiting by the gate. Before you even go for your documents to be screened.
It's screened.
You pay toll.
You have to drop some money. Yes.
As a candidate.
And if you drop enough money, nobody bothers about your documents. Yes. They simply ask you a question. You this, where did you go to school, and all that, and then they say, all the best. They let you go. So when you are a party chairman, the candidates from all the states,
different positions,
they come to pay them homage.
You know it. I like Johnny.
Let's not go into that area. Calm down.
All right, let's leave the area.
Let me add this one to it. Let me ask you one. Let me add this one. Do you know that there is no party man that go and collect a form to run for any office, either at the local government level, that will not drop money for the LG chairman? Do you know that is one at the national one?
It's family support.
Okay, then at the national level, that will go and collect form, or they
He will pay for the form.
He's not paying for the form. He will pay for the office too.
Which office?
The office of the chairman.
I now know why we say we should not go.
It's
not something we can do. I now know that it's not something we can discuss on radio.
It pays to somebody to be a LG of a chairman of a party than be a local government chairman.
Let's just leave it. I now understand why it's not fit for radio. So, but all right, it's still political roundtable, mainland 98.3 FM. Definitely by 7:30 we'll open the phone lines to start to take calls and contributions on our phone lines. I can see a lot of messages on our Facebook and YouTube platform. You can also start to drop your messages. Definitely we'll try to read out the messages. We have to find out the last issue for consideration on the roundtable this evening, and that's the statement by the former governor of Jigawa State, Pᴏʟɪᴛ Lamido, saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an emperor and he's gone through all odds. He's won all odds. He's won every battle, political battle that's come his way to become president. And as it is in 2027, it will be extremely difficult to dislodge him. He's talked about the fact that, look, this is a president that understands politics. He's probably a master strategist. He has the political kind of thinking that makes him an emperor. Of course, he also touched on the fact that, look, as a man that didn't have the direct support of the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari. He said that, look, it was just political calculation that was difficult, really, for Buhari to put out there because he wanted a Lawan. He didn't even trust his vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. But look at how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to defeat all that political scheming, the intentions of the former president to eventually emerge. And if a man had gone through all of that to now emerge as president, he now is in control, he has all the powers. 2027, it will be very, very difficult to dislodge him. Mr. Curtis Adigba, what is Pᴏʟɪᴛ Lamido trying to tell us?
So first and foremost, I must commend Lamido because he used the right word. He said difficult, but not impossible.
Yes, not impossible, but very difficult.
So that I concede to him. However, I have seen supporters of the president celebrating this on all social media platforms.
Putting it out, yes.
Talking about the sagacity of their principal or their candidate. Again, I think people must understand. There's a popular saying in my place: you do not dance to the praise of your enemy. If you do, you're going to be caught unawares. This is an attempt by Pᴏʟɪᴛ Lamido to outpraise the president and probably get him to rest in his invisibility. That, oh, this is a very powerful guy. He might just be resigning to our fate in another part of the country. But we know that is not true. First and foremost, the whole idea that the former president did not want Tinubu to emerge as the candidate of the party.
That's Buhari.
And that he emerged in spite
of all of that.
Not because of him. If I was there, and I can tell you, if the former president was not ambivalent about who will emerge, if the former president wanted to impose a candidate on the party, he would have done so, and nothing will happen.
I believe.
Let me tell you, the governors were just waiting. Even at Eagle Square, they were still going to...
No, El-Rufai, I know that said it.
Change your mind?
Mr. President, who is your candidate? Yes. They asked him severally.
It's like saying that Mr. President, as the undisputed leader of the politics of Lagos, says, I'm not for this candidate. and then you say that candidate emerged. We saw it now on national TV, practically for everybody to see. When he said he didn't want Ambode for second term, in spite of all the maneuverings, where did Ambode emerge? And we are talking of a president that has all the power and the leverage. This is the president who told the governors, I have allowed you to choose your successors. It's my time to do so.
Why didn't he do that?
Yes, because at some point, you know, when you are a president, you listen to all kinds of voices. And don't forget that he said, even at the Eagle Square, that I have benefited from democracy and we should allow this to play. He said it's not in all cases that you go and you must have your way. Let the people decide. If former President Buhari had thrown his weight behind a particular candidate and say, this is the candidate I wanted. Because don't forget that people are quick to mention Ahmed Lawa. The statement about Ahmed Lawa came from Abdullah Adamu, the national chairman of the party.
That was the candidate.
Yes.
And when could he have lied against the president?
When confronted,
you know, when the northern governors, first and foremost, people must understand that the northern governors elected on the ticket of APC had made it clear that power must shift
to the south,
from the north to the south. And because Ahmed Lawa is not from the south, they made it clear they were not going to back him.
Yes.
For purpose of equity and justice in the political system. And so when Abdullah Adamu made that announcement, all the governors went to the national. I was there to the national secretariat of the party. Adamu had gone home. It was Felix Moka and some members of the NEC that confirmed that yes, Abdullah Adamu actually issued such statement. But this guy who is now left the party, Salihu, the deputy
national chairman, yes,
issued a statement and said no, the
wrong.
president cannot impose a candidate on the party, and that there was no way the president had told Abdullah Adamu that this is his candidate. Abdullah Adamu left the secretariat and the governors went to his house and said, let's go and meet Mr. President, let him confirm.
Tell us that he wanted Lawan.
And he said, look, I have channels to reach the president. You have channels, go and talk to the president yourself. But what we saw and heard publicly from the president is that he has not endorsed anybody.
Yes.
All the candidates should go.
Not just once, not twice.
Yes. So this whole idea that the former president did not support him and he emerged, and that is not to doubt his capability and his ability to organize a political party to win. However, I think what is important here is that politicians must come to the conclusion or understand that it is not necessarily a political party that can make you win election. Do you understand? Let all the politicians in this country gather against Tinubu. If majority of Nigerians believe that he's done well
and he deserves a second term,
they will vote for him.
And vice versa.
And if he has not done well, let 1,000 of Lamido praise him and say it's going to be difficult to
dislodge him,
to beat him. The opposite might be the situation. But you know what? Lamido is laying the groundwork for him to pot.
I saw your prediction that the man wants to pot. That man wants to pot. Pᴏʟɪᴛ, do you think this is a politician who wants to pot, just laying the groundwork? Really?
Well, let me first of all say that I share the sentiment of Lamido. I believe in the sagacity of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Political sagacity.
You know, and I really do, it's going to be difficult. You know, one of the things Lamido said was that if this man, who was not the president and against all odds, we saw how tough
it was for
him to even get the party ticket first, and even after getting the party ticket, he became the president by the minority vote, because if you look at all of the
other votes,
and all of that. So now that he is the president, and we know the kind of person he is, I don't want it to come to mind that Jonathan was the president and he lost. Let it not.
With this is a different
scenario and settings and all of that. So I also share the sentiment that it's going to be very difficult, to defeat this Bola Ahmed Tinubu
in 2027.
2027, and then it is possible. Politicians. You saw what Dino Melaye said last week or so. He was saying that PDP was just
finished.
He's dead. He said it's finished. Yes, yeah.
And that's when I saw that. I said, this one wants to come again. Look at Shehu Sonny now. Where is he? PDP or APC?
He's more to the APC now
You know,
than the
now,
PDP.
if you look
from
at
what he's
what
saying,
Szoᴜ
yeah,
have been
and
saying in
his
recent
activities recent time, yeah.
We saw before Daniel Bwala came. Saw all he was saying before he came, and at the end of the day, so Sule Lamido is not, he's not out of point that probably is laying the foundation for his coming to APC and all of that. So, and because we know that that's the style of politicians in Nigeria when they are ready to decamp.
Despite the current party,
and then begin to praise. So it's a soft landing, and by now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is human. He wants to be praised as well, and politicians, that's what they eat.
But should he be careful with the praise singers?
Bola Ahmed Tinubu now. You can't sway him with all of these things.
He knows these things.
He knows. So if you say all of these things, he will welcome you.
All right.
And I've heard.
All right. We need to
grapevine that Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, no matter what Bwala does, he will not get
anything. Shishi.
Okay. He's getting shishi. He's getting more than shishi.
But not what he really wants. All right. But Nuruddin, so that we can open the phone lines. We just have 2 minutes now to open the phone lines. Well, this is Sule Lamido saying that it's going to be very difficult. But people have said that, look, and I think that's what 𝐵 is also saying, the role of the people. It should be more about the performance of the president and how he's able to deliver good governance for the people. That is what should matter, really, for the president towards 2027. But there are others who have also said that, look, in Nigeria, we seem to have weaponized poverty to a point where politicians think that, look, we know how to go about these things. Despite the hardship, Nuruddin, despite no matter what you say, there's hardly any political party that throws up a rally now that you don't see people. Yes. The crowds are always there. Yes. So people are saying that, look, politicians who issue this statement know what they are saying. That it's not about the people now, but about how you can turn out the people to vote for you using different kinds of means that we cannot say on radio. Do you think that, look, really, with the president we have now, who understands the kind of politics we play in Nigeria, it will be very difficult to dislodge him in 2027 so that we can open the phone lines?
Well, it's not only about Bola Ahmed Tinubu being president. There is no president in Nigeria. Even a governor is always very difficult to
dislodge them.
I'm telling you. Even the one of Jonathan that people are saying as if it's so easy. It is not. It is not. And it's because of the personality of Jonathan. If he still want to win that election 48 hours, even on the day of election, we know how our president in Nigeria is so powerful. But for me, there is no president that cannot be dislodged. There is no politician. Let me put it like that. It's about the people. He
didn't say he said it's going to be difficult.
I know that. I said there is no politician that is going to hold a political position for 4 years in Nigeria. Either as a governor that you are going to dislodge just like that is always very difficult. But it's possible. But one thing that is so important here is this. It should be about the people. Look, president will not vote for himself. He should pack all the members of the party together. They are not even up to the rest of Nigerians. Another thing again that I know the president should be thinking. He may be president, fine, but he's still in that record of that 2023 election. Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost election in Lagos. What it means is this: if people decided not to vote for you,
no matter
even
what
in your father's house,
you still lose the election.
You see the election. But one thing that is so certain there is that politicians in Nigeria, the reason why they normally talk confidently in that particular manner that Sule Lamido spoke is because for some hours you are going to get food, you are going to get 3K. And what did you expect for somebody that does not have ability to even get 3K on himself? But one thing that is about the people, and people is going to decide.
Okay, the people will decide in 2027. How the people will decide is the conversation we are having. Well, it's still Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos. We have Barrister Curtis Adigba in the studio. We have Nuruddin Adegbero in the studio. And Olalekan Oni. And together we've touched on the issue of Rivers politics, the Rivers state political crisis, where Nyesom Wike has threatened PDP governors that, look, I'm going to throw fire into your states if you continue to support Fubara and dare to touch the structure I have created in Rivers state. And also, we've also looked at the Labour Party crisis, where Julius Aburi and his other members of the National Working Committee of the Labour Party have told Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti to not even think about it. We run the party, will decide when to hold our convention. And we're asking ourselves, basically, is the party working towards self-destruction? And finally, 2027 political calculations. Tinubu is an emperor, will be difficult to dislodge in 2027, says former Governor Sule Lamido. And we have asked ourselves, how true is that statement? 09136 000 410. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
I greet all of you, all the men, Tiba and Caliber in the studio.
We greet you, Prince Wise.
My name is Prince Wise, calling you from Amuadofin.
All right, sir. Please go on, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me start with Wike. Wike, I think those governors, they miss it. To set up on your last community to bring peace to that party. And you're not supporting one side. When you whether we like it or not, Wike is having Nigeria. PDP, what they say, 2023, they say was the 1,000 ago, president. And we can stand by it. We need Wike to work for Nigeria, and it's working perfectly in Abuja. You can't rate any minister of that method Wike, second or first. That for the Wike. And for the Edo State, and it's you liars also come here open now. What is that? That one was one late play to that woman before you talk of so many. When you say all the candidates, they don't have wives. It means they don't have children. If we continue lying to Edo people who don't, you don't want response, no, that is politics. Finally, if we Baba Baba Buhari, they don't want Tinubu. We call you ungrateful somebody now. Tinubu that has been waiting since the year 2010, not to date. He never had any political party. He was working with the right hand. At the man together, he supported me. If Tinubu did not support Buhari, he will never win the primary of that brand. No, I think we jump from PDP to APC then. So for me, Tinubu work, he knows his target. I was gotten it. If we talk of 2027 to leave, forget about 2027. I don't vote for 2027. We don't want to move to perform. This one you have given to him. Right. 2027.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Prince Wise from Amuadofin. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
My name is Lucky.
Yes, Lucky. Where are you calling from this evening, Lucky? All right, please go on, sir.
I want to talk about Wike. What Wike says, if we other people now, they will say it are treason. So the match will get arrested because if any problem, any fight, or any riot comes from any state, they should hold Wike responsible. That is just the truth. If they want any other person, they will say, oh, yes, I will not invite the person. What he said, he wants to create, that's what he said, I'm going to put fire in your state. That is going to create trouble there. One. The other thing I want to talk about, this Aᴅɪṛɪᴜ. 2019, 2019, the total vote of Labour Party were less than 6,000 nationwide. Less than 6,000. So, Aᴅɪṛɪᴜ, whether he talk or not, when Peter will be moved, everybody will not work out. I just my own. Thank you.
Well, I just hope our brain is listening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
What?
Yes, good evening.
How are you doing? Good evening.
Oh, Madam Ifi, good evening.
I may talk, but let me talk.
All right.
I've been listening.
All right.
Good evening, house.
Good evening.
Good evening, yes.
You see, that weekend is, how will I put it, is a talk of a drowning man. See, this committee that they set up, this reconciliation and disciplinary committee, you know that he cannot penetrate them. He knows. He knows he can't penetrate them. His days are numbered in PDP. Mark it down. What? His days are numbered. Is he going to go and fling money in front of Chief Pᴏʟɪᴜnɪᴜ? That's when they make money before they burn you. I mean, you want to go and fling money in front of General. It's not possible. Yes, it can't do it. It can't. They will deal with him. If you like, let him the ranting, go and throw fire in Bauchi. So you are set up already with the Bauchi State Governor, who is his photo of friend. When they went for next meeting the other time, that's what they all of them, they kept quiet. Maybe it's now, the two they put in their head as the movie. So, oh, this one is part of us. Let us support it. Why do you expect them not to support the governor? Like them. That's why I said, for your information, that's too bad at the vice chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. They made him. Let him come and say, let him be globetrotting, be doing that, wearing a shirt, giving money, money will go finish.
Right.
One of two they were saying about people who have made them and today they are fizzled out. He too will fizzle out. I just pray for good health for him because it doesn't look healthy in my eyes.
Well,
good night.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Ifi. 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Malam Salah.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Salah Badu this evening.
Very well, about the school and camp.
All right, please go on, sir.
Yeah, I'll go for us. First of all, I concur with Sula Lamido in other half. You understand? Whichever way you look at it, this president have 99.9%.
You need to speak up a bit.
What?
You need to speak louder, Malam Salah. I'm struggling to hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Perfect now.
Okay. I said this president has 99.9% chances in 2027.
All right. Why?
Because you know why? Now, if you look at PDP, who is ready to commit resources, even in the northern part of Nigeria, you need money now. This is number one. As we speak today, PDP have nobody in the northern part of Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned. There is a solid politician that can commit anything and his influence.
Malam Salah, Bala Mohammed is there.
Bala Mohammed is there
in 2019.
The problem that Bala Mohammed has, for me, I don't think that a northern president and candidate into 2027, if you look at it in any way, you cannot have, it can't be this president. Are you saying that South can only do 4 years and go?
Well, Bala Mohammed has said that if Jonathan decides to run, he will step down for you.
If they did that, if they go that way, that's okay. Because if they choose somebody from South, whether Jonathan or anybody, PDP have about 5 governors from South. They are ready to commit their resources there because it's their own. Right? Bala Mohammed, that is why I disagree with Wike. Even he's a political wizard. Bala Mohammed can put him in classroom and teach him politics.
Really?
He's not somebody. He's not a pushover. He's a decade politician who has more experience. You understand? And he can handle Wike in any way Wike wants him to handle. He's not a pushover. So if PDP picks somebody from South as their candidate and Bala Mohammed as a running mate from Northeast, you understand? Definitely he has more respect in Northeast than Kashim Shettima. Which I don't even think that Kashim will continue with this president.
All right.
You understand?
Yes, Malam
so
Salah.
Sir.
All right, thank you.
I'm with you, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, I want you to round up. Yes. Okay, all right. Thank you. Let's just take this call and then we'll take some of the messages we have on Facebook. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Yeah, that's what. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, you should know my position as to Wike matter.
Introduce yourself to us now. We know.
Of course, we are.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, sorry. This. Okay, let me introduce myself properly. Good evening, Oga. This guy.
You get Joshua, yeah?
Agree you.
All right, please go on.
Yeah. See, you know my position as to Wike's position. See.
Yes.
I believe there is an agreement. Me, personally, if you betray me, if we have an agreement, you are an adult. We have an agreement, and you betray me. No. That's why I will not forgive you. In fact, I will fight you with whatever I have. Because, one, we entered this agreement, you were not drunk, you were not foolish, you were a normal human being, and we entered the agreement that, yes, I invested my money because, one, I have played my part. This is one thing about contract. Of course, there is an offer, an agreement, and consideration. I have spent my money, I invested in you, and you enter. You don't want to play smart. And this politics is a game. So I will fight you with whatever I support Wike, and I want Wike to continue.
I've always told you this. We don't even know what the agreement is. None of them have told us the agreement between them.
But we know it was agreement that caused
there were people who funded Wike.
Yes.
To use his word. There was a contract, there was an offer, there was acceptance, there was consideration. What did they do to Wike?
And what is Wike's relationship with them now?
That Wike follows the agreement.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
The fact that there was no fight, we could assume to say that.
Mr. Oni, I can tell you that this man I just spoken is not a politician.
Because but I think his politics is even talking about.
In politics, he's not talking about politics. In politics,
yes.
In politics,
yes.
I'm telling you, Eja, Oni Eja man Jesora. Look, there are some certain people. Look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
He promised a lot of people position. Did you think all those people he promised is going to give them up? No.
No, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Listen to what he's saying.
No, I'm saying that. Look, I'm just talking it in political.
But what he's saying, I have also talked about this before. You see, when we talk about River State issue, when you talk about River State issue, majority of us blame Wike.
Wike, yes.
And this man comes, I've listened to his analysis before, and he says that, see, Wike, I've said Wike is a thorough, everybody knows that Wike is troublesome and all of that. But you see, there was an agreement. Barrister Curtis said that unconstitutional in a bad way, one way or the other,
but there was an agreement.
Wike jettisoned people who were supposed to even become the governor and fielded Fubara, sponsored Fubara and all of that. We know that there would have been an agreement. Has Fubara honored that agreement?
But the question is, Wike, both Wike and Fubara,
yes,
has not even told us about the existence of any
agreement.
Yes, but what would have led to the fight?
They have all been talking in proverbs
yes.
and in parables.
Yes.
And that is because...
And you as an elder...
No, because you see, because what they have to say
yes.
is so bad
that can't be said.
In spite of their toxic
they can't even open up.
Yes, we agree. I agree.
And I must tell you, it's against the people.
Yes.
Right. Now, Fubara is positioning us and pro-people.
Yes,
even
anti-people.
But you know what?
Even if I betrayed on the agreement, I now want to work for the people.
It's a betrayer. Even if
the truth is that there has to be honor even among.
You gave an analogy before that. Look, you could have situation where people agree to go steal from a house, rob a bank, and then if one of them decides to renege and say, "Look, should that be a problem?" Because again, we don't even know what the agreement is.
In my place, they say. Somebody goes to steal.
Yes.
And in the process, while he was ransacking the house, a scorpion stung him. He will not cry out because you don't want the owners of the house
to know you are in.
And I think Wike should have shown maturity. Like he's beginning to
say,
let's wait till 20.
Thank you. You said something like this before.
Going about
yes.
So
River State, Wike has said this time around
he has lost.
The business is bad. It's a bad business. Bad market.
Going forward, Wike will now face the national issue.
But don't you think that whatever is planning towards 20, it should be more, quiet about it, more, show some decorum, quietly move.
Wike's style is different.
It's not. If he's a strategic person, all those House of Assembly members,
they will not have defected from the
people. Compare Wike and Amechi. Look at what is happening on the two opposite sides. Amechi, for some time, lost control of the
state, or even the state.
Even from him, he kept quiet.
Yes.
You hear his lieutenants talking.
Yes.
But Amechi himself has not come on record to say this and this and this.
Even when we put him that he should talk.
He doesn't really talk.
But that goes to temperament.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's take some of the messages we have on Facebook. We have Afis Adebayo saying, "Welcome to the show, Said Fuad and the crew." We have Abdurafiu Alabalakwe who said, "I salute you guys fundamentally and many thanks for the every Sunday political sermon and tonic." He said, "Well, PDP may not get it right till their kingdom come. Till their kingdom come."
Somebody said 60.
He said they will not get it right till their kingdom come. That's the PDP. Don't forget, it's not only in Rivers State PDP is having political issues. Also, almost in 29 states, including our dear Lagos. The PDP is also struggling in Lagos. So I don't see peace reigning in the party before, during, and after 2027. But and if at all the PDP want to enjoy peace, only one man can bring peace to the PDP, and that's Nyesom Wike, not Atiku Abubakar. So leadership of PDP should tell Governor Fubara to stop biting the finger that fed him. Also, Labour Party is in the political problem. Peter Obi and Governor Alesoji should be very careful. They should take clue of what is happening in PDP and restore peace back to the Labour Party. Labour Party is now gradually going the way of the PDP, although I'm not praying for them, but so it's a very long message, but I think I've taken a substantial part of that. And thank you so much, Alabalakwe from Sabo Ijewu in Ojo. We have Bryce Samuel saying PDP should expel Atiku and Wike. If not, there shall be no peace. Is that possible? Expel the two?
What's Atiku's crime?
For always coming every 4 years to like that party.
He thinks that look,
always coming every 4 years.
The two of you go. That's what he's saying.
You don't solve a problem by expelling 2 members of a family when without telling
solve their problem. That's what you should do. Reconcile them if possible. Well, that's from Bright Samuel. He thinks PDP should just expel Atiku and Wike so that peace will reign in the party. We have Fred A. Isua saying it's unfortunate having leaders like Wike, but he forgot that he will leave the power one day. And then Madam Ife saying Wike can't do nothing. His statements are a talk of a drowning man. Can he fight everybody and come out victorious? No, of course. The governors will definitely support one of their own. Please remind Wike that Governor Sim Fubara of Rivers State is now the vice chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, a man of no peace. Even in Abuja, where he presides, he's at loggerhead with the senator of the capital city. It will be shown the way out of the great party from the committee set up for discipline. And that's from Madam Ife, that's Madam Ifeoma Oluku Ise. We have Ben Stevens saying Wike should be expelled. We have Umundu Austin saying our daily lamentations will take us anywhere. Next is to plan ahead and put pressure on INEC henceforth to do the right thing now. Nigerians should be allowed to vote online. Nigerians should be allowed to vote in presidential election from any state on that day of election. We should be able to travel to our states and vote from there any kind of our choice. But the present arrangement by ANEC, many non-Indians are already disenfranchised as they will not be allowed to come out on election day and vote for whoever they want to vote for. Presently, okay, well, he's talking about.
I think he raised an important issue there. The fact that we still have to restrict movement
during elections.
During elections, people cannot travel from one place
to another
within the town to go and vote. So if somebody who just relocated, let's say I live in Munshi and I want
to go to Badagry to vote.
I will not be allowed to move. I think
okay.
We should take a look into
that. Okay, we have Oscar Ibe saying
online voting. Now.
Well, he said Oscar Ibe saying good evening, distinguished gentlemen in the studio. Please, I'm struggling here to find out the difference between putting poison in the food of some people and putting fire in the state of some people. Somebody help me out, please. We don't know too.
Well, the difference. Let me explain to you. The difference is that you cook okra.
Yes.
And you go and put poison.
Yes.
And putting fire in the state is to cause problem within the state.
The political
one
system.
Is food, the other one is not food.
It's not food, okay. The political structure. Okay. We have Father Bumi Osimora saying, I salute you all, my gallant 4 wise men in the studio. I wish you all a fantastic new month. And that's from OC Morale at 9 Brigade Military Barracks in Ikeja Cantonment. We have Femi Shobo Alewi saying, Wike is a political calamity. It's unfortunate he has a place in Nigeria's political space. He has forgotten that posterity is waiting to judge him. Atondaka Samuel has said, good evening to everyone in the studio. Let's just forget peaceful resolution in PDP for now. Let by side, we know that Rivers State problem is not PDP national problem. Take note that PDP have serious underlying conditions that has not been addressed due to the appendages in Central Working Committee of the PDP. And we have John Bernard Oiwi saying, good evening, House. The president needs to call Wike to order because he's not doing him any good. As Madam Soshomole talks, okay, anyhow, he has already demarcated the APC candidates in public before the APC primary. And then we have Tochukwu Tiadele saying, good evening. It happened in Oyo State in 1979. Former Governor Adams Oshomole studied politics of 1970s and is at it again. As the governorship candidate of the MPN in Oyo State in 1979, late Chief Akijide SAN had cost to join issues with the candidate of the UPN, Chief Bola Ige SAN, on free education program of his political party in a television debate. In dismissing the program, Chief Akijide said that a similar policy implemented by Awolowo regime in the Western region in the 1950s had produced armed robbers and letter writers. In a rather caustic tone, Chief Ige had asked Chief Akijide if the educated members of his family who had benefited from the program were armed robbers and letter writers. Infuriated by the question, Chief Akijide demanded an apology from Chief Ige and walked out of the program when Chief Ige neither withdrew the question nor apologized. Was Adams Oshomole being reasonable with the assertion? Does this assertion have any relation to what the governor's wife said to Chukwu Adele Thompson, who took us on the political history of how statements can become a problem?
I think both of them were unmeasured. Why we took umbrage at what Oshomole said is that we thought that his age
Yes,
should
and the
have
man
Counted.
Yes.
more wisdom.
So it
in
wasn't that what
responding.
the wife
Who
of the
also said
governor
was right, really.
Right,
Mm.
Yes.
But,
These
okay.
are two different scenarios.
All right, we have Kabiru Adegbon who is saying, good evening, Oga Fuad and others in the studio. I don't know why our politicians are behaving in this manner. In a campaign where you have to tell the people what you have to offer to make life meaningful, Shomole should have kept quiet, Jare. God bless my country, Nigeria. We have James Unwanchi Ogbona. It's a very long one. I probably will take part of it. Good evening, distinguished gentlemen in the studio. Mr. Fuad, do you remember the go and die statement that Shomole told one woman trader in their childlessness? He commented, that is no longer politics. Nobody is God. Then we have, yes.
You know, we don't learn. I remember, I think it was in 2019.
Is it the Ize Yamu statement?
No,
Okay.
2019, where governor. And I probably say, okay, if you say God made you the governor, we'll see how God will make you.
Get a second term.
That statement was taken by Akwa people.
And they voted for him.
Challenging God.
God, yes.
You understand?
And that was how he lost the state.
Yes, and so I think people should be very careful, you know,
when they make statements like
when
this.
They make statements like this.
All right, we have Ihanyi Chibundu Obata. Say, good evening, political roundtable. Since the eastern of Nigeria from Urosi till date, only 2 politicians have held sway. One was in uniform and a footballer from sometime in 1985. The other is at it today in charge. Others were administrators, including Obasanjo. Obasanjo was learning on the job and did not perfect it. Well, I think he's just been sarcastic. Well, we'll try and squeeze in 1 or 2 more calls and we'll call it a day on the show. 091-36000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes.
Uncle Fuad and other members of the panel.
Great you, sir.
Kennedy from Mushin.
Okay, Mr. Kennedy from Mushin. Please go on, sir.
On the issue of River State,
yes.
I also have a contrary view. You may dislike the man, but the message, you made the messenger, look at the message. How many of us can take further this for this man? Who can take?
Mr. Kennedy, can you turn down the volume of your radio, sir? We're struggling to hear you. Move away from the radio.
If Ubara will have used it, contested as a minority person in Rivers, could he have even made it to be
the governor,
a councillor? A councillor in Rivers.
He was at Accountant General of the
state. For the rest, that's an appointment. That's an appointment. That's an appointment. You may hate the man. You may hate the man. Let me make my point. Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
All right, we are listening to you, Mr. Kennedy. Please go on.
You make us to contribute. You want us to contribute to issues.
Please go on, please. Yes.
This man is an accountant. It's an appointment, not an elected office. The man has put in resources to make him to
the governor.
God made him to use wicked for him. He signed an agreement with this man. We don't need to know what
the agreement. Okay.
Put them together. Let me make my point. Let me make my point. They want us to contribute to the issue, we contribute.
Okay.
Everybody wants to. They are just putting down wicked. If Fubara is saying, nobody talk about the issue. The man went ahead and destroy elementary house. You know what they are going to use to build that house? They're not reverse pay people's money. Some people are saying Wike is finished. If Wike is finished, he doesn't have the structure. Why is Fubara want to move out of PDP to APP? That's an issue. The structure that puts you there, people used to put you there.
All right.
I want to destroy it.
Okay.
I want to make your own mate.
All right.
That's on my issue. On the issue of Labour Party.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hello. Oh, okay.
You know the big problem we have in them. Who condemned Fubara took part of the house.
And the same roof of the. So for Edo State, it was not a problem.
And hiding.
To suit whatever narrative he wants.
Exactly, that's the problem.
Okay. I'm not an accountant, unfortunately. All right, I think we just. I think we just have to call it a day on the show. But generally speaking, because we need to leave the studio, I've been getting signals that look, we are running out of time. By Ǩụ̀ʌ̀nɪs, these 3 issues. Whatever is happening in the Labour Party, Sule Lamido's statement, and then we also touched on the Edo State. You know, the statement by these are political gladiators. What's your final take on the show this evening?
Everything that were said in this studio today points to one thing.
Okay.
The indiscipline in our political system.
Yes.
They are distracted by attractive nonsense instead of working to solve problems for the people. When people elect you to offices, when you are elected to offices, the people are simply saying, we have a problem.
Solve our problem.
Solve our problem. We have a dream. Translate them into reality. You know, we have aspirations.
We have our desires here.
We have our desire. Bet them for us. And then we have people who are focused on just territorial gains. Oh, I'm the boss here. You are not the boss. I'm the one who brought you to power. Meanwhile, you couldn't have done any of these things without the people themselves. The owners of power. And so I think that our politicians should understand that power is an opportunity for them to help the people who elected them to office. Not for them to be bickering and fighting for territory all over the place.
And then become the problem that people now have to solve. All right. Thank you so much, 𝐶𝐶𝑖 for your brilliant submissions this evening. Olalekan, your final 30 seconds. We need to leave the studio.
Our political process is terribly flawed. Beyond the electoral act, I don't think this thing is...
It's not about electoral act.
It's about we, the people of Nigeria. And you see, if you are going to get out of all of these things, we need to sit down ourselves, especially the electorate, and say that this is our decision and that's the way out.
Okay, all right. The people have to have a say. This is our decision and that's the way out. 30 seconds, your final thing.
People said one politician bridge an agreement with another one. How many of the politicians
have fulfilled the agreement with the electorate?
Agreement with Nigerians.
The electorate. All right. Thank you so much, this is Political Roundtable. This is what we'll call it today on the show. We'll do this again next week.
Conversations.
Great to see you again. It's good weather. You want to agree with that?
Yeah, I love weather. Trending music. I feel like that.